Did you all set your clocks back? Maybe that's why we're running a little bit behind. But week 9 of the NFL, man, lots of storylines we got to talk about. Close games, blowout games, big score games, injuries. How did your team do? We're going to get into all of that on the Morning Juice right about now. Welcome into the Morning Juice. My name is Keith Brugman. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network, sponsored by the amazing Morgan Trinkets. I'm here hanging out at home, but my good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick, different background, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome into the show. I'm going to share it out to all our friends. You get to talk a little bit on the mic. Welcome in, my friend.
Thank you, Keith. Sorry for the delay, everybody. I misread Keith's message, and he did send the link early, so the delay is my fault, 100% my fault today, but I apologize about that. But we're here now. I'm in New Jersey visiting my good friends Paul and his wife Luby, and right outside my window, deer going by and wild turkeys, etc. So been fun here in this room here, just looking at the scenery outside, and looks like another beautiful fall autumn day here in New Jersey. So looking forward to it. As always, like to do it one way only on the morning show and juice it up, everybody. And today it's a simple iced tea with a little added lemon juice. So the juice is in there, but we got a little iced tea this morning. Been up early, so had my coffee early today. It's already after 9 a.m. here on the East Coast. So a little iced tea refresher with a little added lemon juice for the juice part of juice it up. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers to you, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. But I'm a little bit jealous. You got the sunlight streaming in. I'm waiting to see the sunlight over here on the West Coast, man. But the sun did shine on some NFL teams, Kenny. I'll start talking about mine. The Denver Broncos, man. The Denver Broncos continue to have the light shine down on them on the fourth quarter. Let's put it that way. This defense, I think, Kenny, and you got an outside perspective. This defense, I believe, is good enough to keep them in any game in the regular season. It's just a matter of what this offense can do and when they can do it. They did it yesterday. They did just enough. 18-15 victory for my Denver Broncos as we ride on to 7-2. But I still feel like there's a lot to prove, and there's going to be tough games to come, even though, Houston Texans, that defense was difficult.
Yeah, this is, in my opinion, one of the toughest games on the schedule for the Broncos now because of who they had on their schedule before that. Head into Houston, early time frame. All signs pointed out that the Broncos, could get beat here. They were even underdogs on the sports line. PS2 out, but they showed that our biggest question was, how is this Broncos defense going to be without PS2? They were just fine. I don't want to hear CJ. We didn't have CJ Stroud. I don't want to hear that. Broncos did what they needed to do. Defense was solid once again. Offense did what it needed to do when it needed to do it. Come away with an 18-15 victory, and on top of the AFC West, same record as the other three teams in the AFC West for top record in the AFC. So fighting for that number 1 seed now going forward. So keep it going, Denver. This could be, like I said, a special year. We don't have too much to talk about trade deadline stuff coming up. We've done a lot of that, but the deadline, keep an eye out if the Broncos make a move, because the deadline is tomorrow. So we're going to see if the Broncos have anything in store. And second half of the season's here. Let's go.
Yeah, along those lines, you never know. I mean, big deadline trade goes through. The Rocky Mountain Sports Network might just be going live with a broadcast, an emergency podcast at that point. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, bringing you the Morning Juice, Denver Bronco Roundup, and lots of other stuff if we possibly can. Got to get to our good friends coming in here on the chat this morning, waking up with their morning juice. By the way, coffee in the cup, but I'll be honest, I didn't get prepared, man. It's pretty low in there, man. Lion Coffee, I've already taken down quite a bit, and I don't know if I'm not going to make it through this podcast. I'll be honest, man. It's pretty low in there. But my good friend Graham coming in there, he says, "Wow, I made it to the morning show. Let's go." Mr. Ernie Mays talking about the Broncos. Go Broncos country only. Hello, Keith and Kenny. Our Broncos are 7-2. That's right, Ernie. Good to see you, my friend. And Miss Pearl coming in. I talked about Morgan Trinkets at the very top. That Miss Pearl is who owns Morgan Trinkets, coming in and saying good morning. Iced tea is good. You get the approval on the iced tea from Graham on this one, buddy. So, Kenny has turkeys outside his window, and I have 2 on my computer screen. Ha, 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 ha. Martin, thanks for coming in here. What's that, buddy?
I just said gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. I like it. Love it, buddy. Graham's still waking up. I'll be honest, a little bit for me. A peppermint tea. Man, that's something that can be on the radar. Graham's got a good idea there. Kenny, like I said, Broncos, great victory. We'll go ahead and we're going to move on. Might as well move on to your Giants, man. We always typically, kick it off this way. So, Giants in a tough one, man.
Not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to add this right at the beginning of the show. This is one of the toasteds. My New York Giants defense has been toasted the last 3 weeks, which started with the Denver Broncos putting up 33 and most of those points in the fourth quarter. Followed last week, Philadelphia puts up 38, and then this past week, 34 from the 49ers. The effort is there offensively. We, I believe, have our franchise quarterback, no matter who our coach is next year. I don't think they're going to move on from him. He is doing things that, I've only seen a few quarterbacks do in a rookie campaign. And he's doing this with no playmakers on this offense. He went 30, his numbers yesterday, I have him right here, 24 for 33, 191, 2 touchdowns. That doesn't stand out. Add another 56 on the ground with a rushing touchdown. There's 3 touchdowns there. Add a missed field goal and a field goal. The Giants put up 27 points in this game yesterday, but 24 was the official score, but they give up 34 again. The defense, they have to move on from their defensive coordinator, Keith, in my opinion. He has been one of the worst seasons I've seen from a defensive coordinator, and the players are showing it. You have Brian Burns, who's leading the league in sacks, who had another one yesterday with 11 sacks. I'm sorry, he didn't have a sack, a fumble, forced fumble, which I believe is a sack in the category too, right? I believe that's when you.
I think so. Yeah.
So he's up to 11 now, leading the league in sacks. Dexter Lawrence and past all pro, Kayvon Thibodeau on the front, Abdul Carter, and you got the 32nd ranked defense. Why? Because the run defense is terrible. Christian McCaffrey ran wild again on us again. I don't want to take too much time on the toaster. We got a late start, but Giants fall to 2-7. But I'm, on a team that's 2-7, this is the third year the Giants have been 2-7 in a row. This is the most excited I can be for a 2-7 team because I know in the future looks bright with our quarterback. And I think we'll make the right decisions come the end of the season. And I think next year will be a season to look forward to. And maybe we can be that surprise team the New England Patriots are this year, or Indianapolis Colts. Maybe we can be that team next year. So future's bright. Future's bright.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's this NFL. The NFL is a topsy-turvy league, man. You've got some of the pieces in place. You got that quarterback. Hopefully you have a running back that comes back healthy because you got something there. Got to make some changes. I think they're on the horizon, but who knows? Look at this. Look at this league this year when you're having the Patriots leading, the charge, the Colts leading the charge. I mean, like these are the teams that we end up talking about this year that I don't think anybody would have expected. I'm gonna get your Giants down off the toasted. I know that's always tough, man, when you have to nominate your own team for a toasted segment, can you? But it is what it
And
is.
I was the one who nominated them, chat.
Yep.
So wasn't Keith. I nominated them.
I'll stay a little bit in your NFC East, though, man. Start with the late game. Seattle Seahawks versus the Washington Commanders. We could also get on a little bit of an injury train conversation as well. But my goodness, man. I'll be honest. I was watching this Sunday night football game. You said, guys making decisions, anything can happen in a season. Sam Darnold to the Seattle Seahawks has been everything to the Seattle Seahawks. He comes out and he's on fire, Kenny. He was 15 for 15 at one point, 3 touchdowns. I can't even remember. It's like 250 yards or something like that. And it was the first half. It was, I mean, he put on a clinic versus the Commanders, and it didn't stop. The Commanders end up going down, 38-14 in the end, and end up losing their quarterback once again to injury within the game. Kenny, you know a little bit about the Commanders. You certainly saw the Seahawks as well, I'm sure. Bad
injury for Jaden Daniels late in the game. Dislocates his elbow. This could be a season-ending injury for him, which, in my opinion, I think it will be. They're 3-6. But like you said about Sam Darnold, 4 touchdowns. But how about Jackson Smith and Jigba? You talk about your top receivers in the league. Justin Jefferson gets mentioned. Jamar Chase gets mentioned. You don't see Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I think he's a top 3, maybe top 5 receiver in this league this year. And Seattle is a team to watch out. That's a home field advantage over there. And this could be a dangerous team going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Graham just alluding to that injury, says it was disgusting. If you didn't see the replay, do not go watch it. Landed wrong. Elbow went the wrong direction. I'll just put it that way. Obviously in pain. And once again, another injury to a quarterback this year. We've seen it seems like a very high incident of quarterback injuries, especially for a position that's usually talked about being protected so much, Kenny. We've seen injuries around the league. This is just one of them. A lot of question of whether he should have even been in the game at the time, whether it was even worth it, whether he should have had Marcus Mariota in there before that, because, I mean, you're talking about franchise guys at this point. Jaden Daniels will find out exactly what the prognosis is if he can move forward. But you don't like to see injuries that way. I guess I forgot to mention in the injury, you mentioned it a little bit, CJ Stroud gets injured in the Denver Bronco game, goes out with a concussion, ends up bouncing his back of his head off of the turf there, whatever turf they do have, and goes into concussion protocol. Not what you want to see. Again, not how you like to try to maybe get a victory, quote unquote, but at the same time, it's kind of odd to see all the quarterback injuries, it seems like, this year.
Yep. And just before we continue, Keith, I want to say hello to Michael. Michael's sending us 100 stars, saying, hello, Keith Kenny, Morning Juice, Go Bo Broncos, and says Robert Griffith Jr. let the Washington Commanders know it.
Yeah, I imagine he had something to say about it. Obviously tied to that.
Robert Griffith Jr. He means more RG3. He means RG3 let the Commanders know it.
Yeah. RG3 let the Commanders hear about it, obviously having Jaden Daniels in and the injury. If there's a guy that knows injuries and knows the Washington football team, RG3 is one to talk about it. By the way, thank you very much, Michael, coming in here, supporting all our shows, man. We do have multiple shows. If you're just tuning into the Morning Juice, where we go all the way around the NFL. We also have a couple of Denver Bronco Roundup podcasts that come on Wednesday and Friday called the Denver Bronco Roundup. Search that out as well. Michael, thanks for supporting all our shows, though. Appreciate it, man. I'm just going to continue to go backwards up the list, Kenny. At least from what I have listed. How's that? Bills and Chiefs, man. Bills and Chiefs was kind of a marquee game and a marquee matchup, and one that, at least the outcome, favored my Denver Broncos. Talk about the 28-21 victory for the Bills over the Chiefs, my friend.
I had this game circled for the Bills. I have a couple people that are Bills fans, and I said, if you want to consider yourself a Super Bowl contender, you have to beat the Chiefs. And I said that not yesterday. I said that months ago. This game, you have to win. And the Bills did. They shut down Patrick Mahomes, 15 for 34. He had 250 yards and interception, no touchdowns. On the Bills side of the field, Josh Allen, we talked about Sam Darnold. How about Josh Allen, 23 for 26, 273 and a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid gets in the action with 101 yards and a touchdown, and James Cook runs for 114. So nice spread offense there. Nice game plan. And they did. They shut down the Chiefs. And, another tough place to play, Buffalo, especially come December. The Great Lakes, get those wins up there in Buffalo. It could be a dangerous place for a road team heading into the playoffs if Buffalo can get home field advantage. So this was a must-win. Chiefs fall back now, 2 behind the Broncos, 2 behind the Chiefs because the Chiefs the Chargers beat them. So The Chargers are actually 1.5 ahead of them. So big road to climb for the Chiefs, but they're still in the wild card hunt. So keep an eye out for the Chiefs. They're not down out of it yet, but they do have a tough part of their schedule coming up, including the Broncos in a couple weeks.
Ain't that the truth, man? And if the playoffs started today, Chiefs would be on the outside. Chiefs wouldn't be part of the equation currently. That's kind of crazy to think about after the dominance we saw, and especially the run that they had last year where everything was going in their favor, and maybe the rest had a little bit to do with that, people thought. And, they have this amazing 15-2 season. Now everything's not going their way. Graham saying, I tuned into the Bills-Chiefs game. Man, the Chiefs and Mahomes aren't the same. Martin's coming back in, talking about those quarterback injuries. He says, we all want Bo Nix to run more for the Broncos, but all these injuries should make us think twice. We need Bo throwing better. He doesn't have to run. Yeah, it's a back and forth debate in one's head when you have the skill of a quarterback that can get out and run, but then you see these injuries starting to come through, and makes you think twice whether you want them out there doing anything like that. But big win for the Bills, big loss for the Chiefs as they continue on, buddy. But the AFC always competitive. Let's head on to the only overtime game of the week. And by the way, I'll hit this one real quick. Green Bay Packers lost tight end Tucker Kraft to a torn ACL. Man, just after watching him last week go off, loving to see what Tucker Kraft was putting on the field. We'll get into the Green Bay game here in a little bit, but big loss for them. Big loss for Jordan Love as a target, as he was starting to really come into his own as well as a tight end in this league. But like I said, Jaguars, Raiders. The Raiders just they have a hard time buying wins. Maybe they're at the gambling table, and the odds just aren't in their favor. Jaguars coming on top on a 30-29 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Man, Jaguars showed up, put up some points, buddy.
Jaguars put up some points. They're improved to 5-3. Trevor Lawrence did what he needed to do. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Geno Smith, one of his better games, 29 for 39, 4 touchdowns. But Brock Bowers had his return date, man, 12 for 127, 3 touchdowns in this game, Keith. Brock Bowers. I was happy to see that. He's on my fantasy football team, and I had Jody this week, so he was a big difference of why I beat Jody. But that being said, Geno did his Geno Smith things in that 2-point conversion, a wide open guy in the end zone, and he doesn't even see the defensive lineman who had his paws up in the air, threw it right into his paws and over.
Oh, Kenny, you're breaking up just a little bit, man. Yeah, coming back to me, my friend? Going once, Kenny.
I'm sorry, I'm having some internet issues here. I
It's
am
okay.
back. Cam Little, congratulations to him.
Yes.
68-yard field goal. And for those who don't know that name, he did kick a 70-yarder in preseason, which didn't count. So congratulations to him for getting the record, because he did kick a 70-yarder in preseason game. So they said he could kick it from 75, which is remarkable. And I swear there's helium in the balls, and check his cleat, because it might be made of lead. I don't know, but that ball, just 68 yards.
Amazing,
Unbelievable
man.
job, and congratulations to him. And a record was broken yesterday, so I always like to see a record broken, and that was a nice one.
Yeah. Yeah, it is amazing. Kicking has taken a different step forward, a big kick forward. The balls are a little bit different. I guess they get to have the balls, kind of like the quarterbacks get to have the balls, and they get to choose their balls and maybe season the balls a little bit. So that's part of what we're seeing. But my goodness, man, it's certainly brought kicking back into the equation. When we were just a few years ago, we were talking about, do we need to eliminate extra points, and do we even need kickers out there anymore? And what's the point of it? Now all of a sudden, man, you hit the 50-yard line, and anything is possible with the right kicker, Kenny. So just amazing. But congratulations to the Jaguars. A franchise that's been struggling. Seems like they're getting things on track, and it's always easier to get on track versus the Raiders these days, as they have been struggling, Kenny. They've been struggling a lot.
Yes.
We'll go right to another struggling team, and another team that just continues to do it no matter what. What year it is. It seems Sean McVay and the Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. Sean McVay just continues to get it done and continues to just grind it out in that NFC West as they get a 34-10 victory over the New Orleans Saints. The Saints just continue to struggle as well, man. This could have been a toasted segment right here. I thought about it, my friend.
Yeah, and you don't want to put the same teams on each week, and that's what we do. We feel bad about the Saints, but don't want to take too much time on this game. Stafford had a great game as always, 24-32, 281, 4 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, keep an eye out for this. He did hurt himself in this game. It's a little chest injury. Did play 7 for 95, but keep an eye, and a touchdown. Keep an eye on that injury. Tyler Shuck gets his first start. Respectful 15.
Oh, Kenny, those internet issues are killing us, buddy.
For 20, he
right
will
now.
be the starting. Tyler Shuck, I was saying, looks like he may be the starting quarterback going forward the rest of the year. So keep an eye out for that.
Very good, buddy. Just cutting out just every now and then.
Yes, I noticed that.
No worries, my
friend. I might
friend.
be too close to the turkeys outside.
You turkey. We'll see what we can do. We'll try to get through all of this, man. Panthers Packers, man. This was one of those surprise games. I think this was if you look at the spread, or if you look at the expectations on this game, no one really expected the Panthers come in there and handle the Packers, especially with the Packers being at home. But that's exactly what happened, man. 16-13, the Panthers walk out of there with a victory, and the Packers reeling in more than just the loss because of also that loss to Tucker Kraft as well now.
Yeah. Panthers 5-4. I'm looking at Paul, who just came in and said, Panthers are good. How come, Paul? I looked at that record. I had to see if that was a typo, because they talk about a team flying under the radar. Panthers 5-4.
Yeah.
I mean, how about Rico Dodley? I mean, wasn't Bryce Young yesterday? 11 for 20, 102 yards and an interception. With those numbers, you're not winning many games unless you have a performance like Rico Dotto had yesterday. 25 for 130, 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
So and then Jordan Love, he had a good game. No touchdowns, but Josh Jacobs runs for 87 and a touchdown. So when I looked at the box score, I was like, wait a minute, it was Rico Dotto, because of course I'm watching the Giants game here. You're watching the Broncos game.
Yeah.
No, too many of us watched this game. So I was like, where are the stats here? And there it was. Rico Dotto is the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, he absolutely has, and he has been for the most of the season for that team, man. I mean, he has been. I mean, think about when everyone was talking about him going back to Dallas and that matchup, because that's where he came from, and he ran all over the Cowboys, and their victory there just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, the Panthers are kind of legit, man. Kind of a one to watch out for. I know it's your good friend Kurt Valente, run the ball, play defense, win championships, right? Right now, they're not doing it with Bryce Young. They're doing it with their run game. And that's something to watch for.
And hats off, Ejo Evero, the defensive coordinator over there in Carolina, former Bronco coordinator, who I thought did a good job, even during that regime with Nathaniel Hackett. But it wasn't Evero's fault. That team was bad that year.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading comments. Graham had me laughing here. I'm gonna fast forward, man, to the next game, and maybe we're fast forwarding in this league, Kenny. I don't know if we're gonna have a 100-point football game, combined score over 100 points. It feels like it's dang near on the horizon. I don't know if there has ever been one. There probably has been. But the score has been week after week. We have some games that have been some big score games. This week it was in the zoo, as you alluded to in our chat earlier, as the Bears and the Bengals fought in a 47-42. 47-42. That's a lot of points. Bears end up winning this one, and Bengals make the toasted segment for you, my friend.
Bears make the toasted segment. Party at the zoo. The Bears and the Bengals are on the playing field there in the zoo. And behind Caleb Williams, 20 for 34, 280, 3 touchdowns. But here's a name to watch for in the future. DeAndre Swift is out of this game.
DeAndre Swift out of this game. Kenny Kirkpatrick.
Swift was out of this game. Kyle Monagai takes over, 26 for 176. I think he was a Rutgers running back. Colston Loveland had his rookie sensation party here, 6 for 118 with 2 touchdowns. And if you saw highlights, his last touchdown was incredible on the last drive. What he did for the Bears in the last drive was incredible. And keep an eye out for Hendrickson. I know it's a long shot, but if that defense is that bad, he might be on the trading block. We'll see. We're gonna see. And if you can get a big overhaul for him, if somebody's desperate and wants to give 2 first-round picks up for him, I do it if I'm the Bengals. But Joe Flacco, how about Joe Flacco in this game? 4 touchdowns, 480 yards, or 470 yards, I should say.
Like Graham was saying, Bears-Bengals, talk about the shock of the week. Yeah, and Ernie May is doing a little research in the background. Thanks, Ernie. Says there was a score 71-42 in 1966. So you do got to go back a little ways. You got to go back a little ways to find those 100-point games, I guess. But feels like they're on the horizon. The Bengals defense obviously toasted as the Bears rattle off 47 points, man. We expected the Bears offense to get better when Ben Johnson headed off to the Bears, but I don't know if we expected 47 points. Obviously, the Bengals defense had a little bit to do with that. Paul, yeah, you're absolutely right. Dobbins was a blessing for the Broncos. Great vision, hard runner. And those running backs out there can be key, obviously. What was the gentleman's name for the Bears one more time, Kenny?
Caleb Williams.
No.
Kyle Monagai. Kyle
Monagai. All right, man. I'm gonna go back and watch some highlights. That's one game I didn't get to see much of, man.
So, right. Monaghai. Monagai.
Monagai.
Local Rutgers.
Local
away from
Rutgers
here,
guy.
so he went to Rutgers. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Monagai, what a guy. What a guy for the Bears yesterday as he put on a show. And good morning, Bruggs and Kenny, says Mr. Roy Osborne. Good to see you. Make sure you set your alarm. Get in here for the morning juice, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's okay if you come in a little bit late. It's fun, my friend. Good to see you, Roy. I want to go ahead and get on over to the Colts versus the Steelers, Kenny. Colts, Danny Dimes kind of had a New York Giant football Danny Dimes type of day, not Indianapolis Colts Danny Dimes type of day. The Steelers defense came to play, and they end up shutting down the Colts, man. Kind of a surprising one. Steelers have been hot as they up there in the AFC North, but they really proved it. 27-20 victory for the Steelers over the Colts.
yeah, not only 3 interceptions for Danny Dimes, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles as well. So that was definitely shades of the Daniel Jones back in New York. The big news this stuff too is the co-name mentioned for MVP. Jonathan Taylor also shut down in this game, 45 yards rushing. So Steelers shut down the big 2 for the Colts. A lot of turnovers. They played defense. Aaron Rodgers, game manager type game, 203 yards, touchdown. Jalen Warren runs for 31 yards, but he has 2 touchdowns. So the Steelers did what they had to do on the short field when they got the turnovers. They come away with a 27-20 victory and stay ahead with a little cushion of those Baltimore Ravens, who we'll get to in a little bit, but stay ahead in the AFC North with a little cushion still going into the second half of the season.
Yep. Surprising to me. I mean, maybe you call me a Aaron Rodgers hater, whatever you want to say. I just thought his career was done dishes after, the injury in New York. Didn't see him coming back and being this effective in Pittsburgh. Wasn't sure if I know that everyone was in love with the Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers fit, but I just wasn't sure how it was going to work out. So far, working pretty dang well for the Steelers as they hold the lead in the division, and like you said, with a little bit of a cushion as well, man. Good friend Clayton coming in here. Good to see you, Clayton. Always Clayton. Another big supporter of our shows, man.
Yep. Clayton, what's up, Clayton? Always says smash the like button. And guys, listen to Clayton. If you don't mind, guys, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. It helps the stream out. Doesn't cost anything. If you like what we're doing, definitely give us a like. It'll get more people watching our shows, getting notified about our shows. And the same on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm gonna go one step further. Please do it. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, it helps us out a ton. We really do appreciate it. We're not just saying that because it's part of a script that we're reading off of. If you can, give us a little bit of love. We appreciate it, and we'll try to give you as much love as we can as we get your comments, thoughts, and questions coming through here. But yeah, smash that like and share button. It is a victory Monday for the Broncos, and Paul's just saying, maybe the Colts are starting to come down to earth a little bit, man. Got a little bit humbled, that's for sure. Got a little humbled. We'll see what they end up doing going forward. We're going to move forward in the games that we saw and maybe didn't see on Sunday. Falcons, Patriots. The Falcons were so close, my friend. So close. They've had such a hard time trying to get victories, trying to get on a role of any sort, or kind of gain an identity, I guess. It's tough because that AFC South, or I'm sorry, that NFC South is typically wide open, and once again they take a loss, 24-23 to the Patriots, as the Patriots and Drake May continue to do it, and they'll stay in the hunt.
Tough loss for the Falcons. They get the potential game tying touchdown with less than 5 minutes left in the game, and they missed the extra point. No other scoring in the game. Patriots come away with a 24-23 victory at home, improved to 7-2. Drake May, you talk about good coaching. You have good coaching, you have bad coaching in this league. Mike Vrabel and that coaching staff, amazing things. They know what they got in their quarterback. They don't need to put up 400 yards a game 19 for 29. He's got 2 touchdowns and an interception. Demario Douglas, a 100-yard game with a touchdown. They spreading the ball around. They're doing what they need to do. They're playing defense. This could be a sleeper, underrated team, under the radar team going into the playoffs that nobody's going to talk about. And, it's the Patriots. So people are like, I don't want to see the Patriots again. But this is not the Patriots that Bill Belichick coached. This is a whole new team and a fun team to watch. And curious to see if they decide to make a move, or because that team's so young, do they stay with what they got and just roll with it heading into the playoffs this year? This team kind of reminds me of the Broncos last year a little bit. Not much expected of them this year. The new coach, Vrabel, comes in like Sean Payton came in, and Vrabel is, doing it with the young quarterback. Second-year quarterback Drake May last year, so he didn't even have a full season last year. So let's see what happens. But kind of reminds me of them, and maybe stand pat at the deadline if you're the Patriots and build your team for the future instead of just this year.
Michael Ronquillo kind of thinks that the Patriots remind him of the Broncos as well, but in a different way. New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos are on a 6-game NFL winning streak, says Michael Ronquillo. So something that is very comparable in this year between the Patriots and Broncos. And then Pearl coming in, saying Drake May is looking really good. And you were just talking about, again, here's a quarterback that came in. He's kind of taking those steps, kind of like a Bo Nix is starting to take those steps. He didn't get all of last year like Bo Nix did, but is certainly looking good this year. And maybe that is a little bit of a correlation as well. While I have Pearl up here on the screen, great way I can segue into a quick sponsor read. Pearl has an amazing company. It's called Morgan Trinkets. They've been doing Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, and Estate Gold for over 34 years. A couple places you can find them as the holidays are up just around the corner. Head on over to Etsy and type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. And you'll be able to find everything that Pearl has to offer over there on Etsy. Like I said, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, and silver, sterling silver, 100% sterling silver. Also, Pearl, like I said, is the owner of Morgan Trinkets. And that being said, if you type in Pearl Heat over on eBay, you can find her store over there as well. All terms and conditions apply over on eBay. But like I said, holidays are right around the corner. Check out Morgan Trinkets, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices. Man, Pearl's like lining right up everything for me, because the next game on the docket that I actually had was a little game with the Vikings and the Lions. I know you have a good friend over there in Carson over with the K&K Sports Network, big Lions fan. I don't think most people would have expected this one. J.J. McCarthy comes out there in his return and is absolutely stellar in his return as he takes down the Vikings. Takes down the Lions, in a 27-24 victory for the Vikings.
Not impressive numbers, but, did what he needed to do. J.J. McCarthy, 143 yards, but gets 2 touchdowns. Jones, 78 yards rushing, nothing to write home about. But the difference maker in this game, in my opinion, on the defensive side of the ball, Brian Flores had a game plan. Can't stop the whole Lions offense. So who are you going to stop? We're going to stop Montgomery and Gibbs. 65 total yards rushing in this game, I think, was the difference maker. They stopped that run. I think they have the best 1-2 punch in the league, and they shut it down. And that was the difference. Jared Goff made some plays, 277, 2 touchdowns, but no run game equals, a small, short, nice little victory on the road for the Vikings going forward, and a much needed victory to stay in the not only the playoff hunt, but the wild card hunt as well, because they were going to be on the losing side of a 500 record with that loss, but now they improved to 5-4.
There you go, buddy. AFC North's going to be tough. NFC North's going to be tough. They need to stay in the hunt, like you said, and especially Vikings Lions. Big matchup there. So Chargers Titans is one that I kind of looked into a little bit because obviously kind of hoping that the Chargers were going to lose in this one, being a Denver Broncos fan. Didn't end up being the case. Looked like a very close game, 27-20, Titans Chargers. I'll be honest, I watched a little bit of the highlights on this one, and Titans defense had a lot to do with this as they picked off Justin Herbert and ran it in. Shout out to former Bronco Cody Barton. He's the one who did it on that particular play as he picked off Justin Herbert. And then special teams came into play as well as they got a punt return for a touchdown. They were up 14-0 in this game early, but then couldn't put a whole lot more together as they end up losing this one 27-20. And the Chargers did their handle business against a team that they should have handled business against. But I was hopeful there as I was watching this one starting to play out, and the Titans were up 14 early.
Yeah, this is, I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, and Cam Ward is, he's been struggling too. I look at these other not many rookie quarterbacks in the league this year, but, Jackson Dart has impressed over there in my neck of the woods. Tyler Shuck in his debut yesterday, respectful numbers. Yeah. Cam Ward, 12 for 21, 145 yards, no touchdowns. We're in week 8 now. Week 9 for them. They fall to 1-8. They lose their coach. A lot of changes being made there. If they have, I'm just saying, if they have a 2-win season, not calling it out of the question. New coach comes in, new coordinator. Do they stick with Cam Ward, or do they go to management and talk them into drafting a new quarterback next year for the new coach and new coordinator that comes in? Not calling it out of the question. I've seen it. It happened in Arizona with Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray. Keep an eye out for that. If he doesn't impress and keeps putting up these type of numbers, do you roll with him for the future? Or if there's a quarterback in next year's draft that the new staff coming in loves, do you go with that instead?
Yeah, it would be interesting. You still have Will Levis kind of hanging out there. Then you'd have Cam Ward. You're starting to feel like the Cleveland Browns there, and you're stockpiling of quarterbacks especially if you can't move on from one of these guys, and you're just shuffling them down the bench a little bit. But yeah, questions abound. I don't know if I give up on Cam Ward yet. It's got to start looking better, but boy, go from Brian Callahan and now their offensive coordinator takes over. And I forget, former Broncos offensive coordinator, if I remember correctly. But I mean, like literally, it's not a great situation down there. You know what I mean? And I would probably give him a little bit more of a leash, but at some point you'd like to see something real happen.
Quick, yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Keith. On the Chargers side, keep an eye. Once again, Joe Alt goes down. Didn't look good. He got rolled on. His ankle got rolled on and doesn't look good. I'll just say that. So I saw Kurt coming in, so that's why I thought of the Chargers. Chargers and Chiefs are looking up to the Broncos now. Things may be looking good for the Broncos if Joe Alt is out for a long period of time.
Yeah. Been out once already and had someone come in, and they actually did quite well in replacement. But Mr. Kurt Valente, like you said, grace on the screen. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate you coming in here early morning for me, and good morning to you. He says, here's my morning juice. Name a better quarterback than Bo Nix, and name a better defense than the Broncos. Hint, you can't. We're going to the Super Bowl, boys. Let's go, man. He's fired up. He's stoked up about his Broncos, man. He is super stoked. I'll give you this defense. I said at the top of the show, Kurt, if you missed it, I apologize, but I'll repeat it now. I think they have the opportunity to keep this team in any game during the regular season here on out, for sure. They have the opportunity to basically shut down almost any single offense. Now, what this offense can do is a question: when they show up, how they show up, and will they show up with enough? That's the question. But absolutely, he said clutch game. You can't coach it. You have it or you don't. Bo Nix has got it, man. That's good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Yep. And I'll just add two cents. With me, it's just, Bo Nix, you want to win those fourth quarters, but there's going to be a time where you need to play better in the first half. That's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say. You're 7-2. You're right there for the number one seed. Your defense, I've said it for months. Super Bowl ready. Your defense can get you there alone. Offense, play better for 4 quarters, and I'm right there with you, Kurt. You're Super Bowl bound. Get there. I don't want to keep seeing the fourth quarter comebacks because there's going to be a time where something doesn't happen. A missed field goal, a fumble, something's going to happen. I don't want to keep seeing those fourth quarter miracles, but you're on the right track, Kurt, and I think you're very close. And you're going. You might get there, my friend. You might get there this year.
Yep. Lots of Broncos fans in here. My feeling is Bo will get better, and a good team finds ways to win, good or ugly. And that's what's been happening. This team has been playing like a team. They've been relying on each other when needed, and it hasn't been ugly in the locker room that the defense continues to have to hold up this offense or anything like that. It's an all-in mentality, and I know that we're not going to make this a Broncos show. Martellus Bennett came in. He's one of the oldest to ever suit up, 41 years old as a tight end, went out there, took a snap. He just once again in his post game talked about the Broncos and just the culture and who they are. And that's one of the pieces that are needed in order to be a Super Bowl team. I think that the Broncos, I know, have that piece. Trade deadlines out there getting shaky already, man. Starting to rumble. Philadelphia Eagles traded for Miami Dolphins linebacker Jordan Phillips, says Michael Ronquillo. Michael, thank you for the update.
That's a big name, Michael. Thank you. And you know what? The Eagles are not afraid to go for it. They need something, they go for it. And you know what? You tip your cap to them as a Giants fan. You tip your cap because if I was an Eagles fan, I'd be very happy about this move because that could be a move that puts us over the top on the defense now. He's a good name. He's a really good player in this league.
And Pearl's betting that the Broncos don't make any trades still. Though, like you said, this is what good teams do. I wouldn't rule it out, Pearl. I wouldn't rule it out just because the Broncos are 7-2. If they feel like they have an opportunity, now's the time to put your foot on the gas. Get there while you can. You can't be thinking about next year when you're sitting here at 7-2. Now's the time to win your division, to host the playoffs, and hopefully get to that Super Bowl. Put your foot on the gas. I wouldn't rule it out. One thing that we haven't had to rule out, getting all the way through the schedule, Kenny. We only have one game left, and we have a toasted segment as well as the Dolphins are going to take the screen. They got toasted early on Thursday, 28-6 was the final score. It cost the GM his job, Kenny. I don't know how that necessarily helps the outcome on the field, but for at least as of right now, unless Michael comes in with some shocking news, Mike McDaniel still has his head coaching job, but it did not look pretty as the Ravens got way back on track versus the Dolphins.
Way back on track. Lamar Jackson comes back 18 for 23, 204 yards, 4 touchdowns. Doesn't run much in this game, so he did it with his arm. And a lot of people say, including myself, sometimes I question his arm. He's a running quarterback first, not Thursday night. Thursday night, he was more of a pocket passer. They did what they needed to do. Derrick Henry, 119 on 19 carries. The Dolphins, the Ravens send the Dolphins back into the Chesapeake Bay, which is right there, right outside the stadium. The National Aquarium was looking for some new dolphins. They're not getting any new dolphins on the Miami Dolphins, so they're going back to Miami. National Aquarium will look for some new dolphins elsewhere, and the Ravens back on track and stay in the hunt. They're not out of this yet. I know they got another game with the Steelers. This AFC North can get interesting with the Ravens and the Steelers, with the Ravens on the upside and the Steelers. Big win this week, but Steelers are in neutral, in my opinion. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. This could be an interesting race heading down the stretch. But, toasted Miami. We're going to see what happens going forward. But, they're going to go down and get some more sun this week, and maybe they're some more toasted in different ways.
They'll be toasting themselves as they flip themselves over on the beach and rub on that sun tanning lotion out there. Baltimore Ravens have a good path ahead of them. They've got some of their toughest games out of the road, and now they have some of their easiest games on the schedule. So you're right, Kenny. Watch out for the Baltimore Ravens. They have the opportunity to mix it up there in the AFC and be a contender, even though it looked like they were almost at one point, especially before this victory, it looked they were kind of like dead to rights. So, Kenny, you get a question, yeah?
Yeah, I'll answer it real quick from Miss Pearl. No, and I don't think he's going to.
The question is, by the way, Kenny, is the Giants' head coaching job safe? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry about that. No, by far, Miss Pearl. Thank you for the question. I think his job is not safe because there's a guy out there that really loves Jackson Dart. And I think he is on Barstool Sports now. Former head coach John Gruden has loved him through his little, Gruden camps that he has, the quarterback camps, loved him all throughout. And that's the one guy that I think could take over Brian Dable's job, because I think Jackson Dart's comfortable with John Gruden as well.
Do you think that John Gruden would be willing to drop his lawsuit versus the NFL in order to take the Giants head coaching job? That would be the big question.
I think, that's a great question, but I think for the Giants job, and you look at all the jobs that may be open, the Giants job has got to be the most exciting for people. Quarterback and a defensive front that should be, tops in the league. Yeah. And then, you build off that, and you got a playmaker in Malik Neighbors. If Scadaboo comes back, you got an offense. That's an exciting job to think about.
Yeah. And one thing I would say about John Gruden, the question whether it be player or coach a lot of times is, can they handle the New York media? Oh my goodness. Could you imagine John Gruden with the New York media? That would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah. I would love that.
Real quick, Keith Martin's got a great one, because there was another trade that the Eagles made earlier this week. They traded Jair Alexander. The Ravens traded Alexander. So the Eagles are going all in, and you respect that because they got the talent. They're Super Bowl, obviously a Super Bowl contender, last year's Super Bowl winner. They're going for a repeat, and they can with these moves, they can on defense. Watch out.
Yeah, lots of moves happening. Unfortunately, we're talking about trades, but Michael Ronquillo is also talking about, a guy that's going to be, probably moving to the surgery table. It sounds like Washington Commanders cornerback Marshawn Lattimore has likely torn his ACL, as we see injuries happen, and you hate to see it happen. You never know. Marshawn Lattimore could have been is a key piece for obviously the Redskins, the Commanders themselves, but with them kind of struggling, we talk about trade opportunities. That is another guy that is taken off the table, in my opinion, too. So,
Keith, I have.
Go right ahead.
No, I was going to say, I see the time. I know we're getting close. I do have. Yeah. I don't want to do both. I do have two blind rankings for you. Do you want to do one, and I can do either the football one or the non-football one with you?
Well, let's do a blind ranking. We can finish out the show that way, and I'll let you choose what you think is the best.
Oh boy! Somebody in the audience, I'll give you 10 seconds to throw which one you want in there, football or non-football, and then I'll make the hard decision.
Countdown begins, Kenny.
You know what? We talked all football. It's a morning show. Let's have some fun with the non-football one.
All right, non-football it is, man.
Yeah, this is a top 5 donut flavors for breakfast. More morning show. So. Blind rankings. Paul said football. You came in just after the clock, Paul. Buzzer
Paul.
Got you. We're going to go top 5 bonus flavors. I'll save the football one for next week. So these are just blind rankings. I'm going to throw a name out there. You rank them where you think it is ranked. So First one I'm going to give you, Keith, good old jelly donut.
Good old jelly donut. God, I like a jelly donut, man. I'll give it. I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna go
Two
high
for the
on
jelly.
this one.
Okay. We're going to go chocolate frosted.
Chocolate frosted. Now, see, this is what kills me, man. This would probably be my number 1, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put it at number 3 because I'm a holdout.
Okay, so you got 2 and 3 used up. So
Yep.
next one I'm going to go with is Boston cream.
Ooh. I'll be honest. I had a cream filled donut is one of my only 2 times I got food poisoning, Kenny. So this one takes the number 5 on this list for me.
Fair enough. It's rough. I'm going to go glazed next. Good old fashioned glazed donut.
Well, then I got to sneak that into the 4 position and hope I got a good number 1.
Strawberry frosted. You comfortable with that at number 1?
Oh, no. Strawberry frosted, I'll eat it. I'll eat any donut, maybe outside of that Boston cream because I'm wary. But yeah, I probably wouldn't end up with strawberry frosted. That's my number 1, man. I probably would have shuffled it all the way down and put it number 4 and moved everything else up the list.
And love Martin, Paul, and Michael, and Pearl all playing along. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds, and I'll read the official order out so you guys can see how you did it. Ladies and gentlemen can see how you did. Little spin, we like doing our little morning show, little fun little topic at the beginning or the end of the show. We're a football show, but throw in the little fun little things there. All right, I'm going to read it to you, Keith. You ready?
Yeah.
At number 1 was the good old-fashioned glazed donut. For me, I would be like a number 3, so I don't agree with that one. But the official ranking, I get it. I get it. It's a good, basic donut. You want to dip it in your coffee. You want to have it on the side. It's good.
Yeah.
Good donut. Chocolate frosted made it at number 2.
Yeah, that's would have been my number 1. Yeah.
Yep. The food poisoning Boston cream at number 3.
Awesome.
And I'm right there. I'd like that number 3. Frosted would be down on the list with me 4 because jelly would be number 2. So jelly's number 4 and strawberry frosted is at the bottom of the list 5. And I'm okay with 5 with the strawberry frosted. So I'm going to give you about a C+ on this one. You were dead wrong on the strawberry frosted, but the other ones you were right in the range.
Yeah.
Boston cream you had ranked a little low from personal experience, and I respect that. So I won't go lower than a C for you, but I'm going to give you a C+ ranking on that one this week.
Yeah, I'm kind of here with Martin though too. I was kind of waiting for this one to pop up. Apple fritter is the king of donuts. There ain't nothing better than an apple fritter or a bear claw, man. I tell you what, that's got to be on that list, man. We had a donut shop right next to our high school growing up, man. Like, so the morning before, the lunch during, you skip a class, you head on over to the donut shop. I mean, it was the go-to, man. They had amazing donuts as I grew up. So, and those apple fritters were bigger than my hand, and I can palm a basketball, Kenny.
We have real quick, and we have a bakery very short of open in the summer months, so like from May to like September. And when we go down, Kurt and I get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to Britain's Bakery, which is a mom and pop shop, just makes donuts and cakes.
Kenny's losing his internet a little bit.
But if you don't get there at 6 o'clock, if you're not there, I'm sorry, I broke up a little bit. If you're not there by 5:30 and they open up at 6, you're waiting over an hour to get into the store. But a little secret for those who ever go to Britain's Bakery in Wildwood, New Jersey, you can call ahead and go meet them on the side of the building and they'll bring it out to you. We didn't know that. So we're standing in line with all the other tourists, a line around the block,
goodness.
We finally found out the trick of the trade. You can go pre-order and get them on the side. But delicious, amazing stuff. Britain's Bakery. If you're ever in New Jersey at the Jersey Shore in the Wildwoods, go check them out. 100%. Give them an unofficial sponsor plug, because that is truly amazing stuff.
Well, then my unofficial sponsor plug will be for Munn's Bakery Shop in Tremont, Utah, also known as the Pie Dump. Go check them out. So, high school favorite. Kenny,
Nice.
this has been a favorite episode of mine. We went all the way around the NFL. This is the time of year, man, where everything starts to meet the road, man. Each episode as we move forward is going to get more and more exciting, because we're going to be talking about playoff hunts, people falling out of playoff contention, people, it really getting, meaty and exciting. Every single game is really going to matter from here on out. But today was a fantastic episode. Thanks for being along for the ride, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll be heading back to Maryland tomorrow, but I'll be back next week and for another episode of Morning Juice. And thank you, everybody, as always. And cheers, everyone. Juice it up.
Juice it up. Michael Ronquillo says he wants a wide receiver Jalen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins on his Denver Broncos. And thank
Michael,
you for the
stars. Send stars. I apologize, Michael. I wasn't looking at my phone. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you appreciate it. I appreciate it as well, man. Thanks for supporting the Morning Juice. Michael, this is the one question I'd have for you. They said everyone's on the market, and so any NFL team can go out there and get Jalen Waddle. But here's the stipulation: they're wanting a first-round draft pick plus additional compensation. And I don't know if that's in the form of, defensive line or a cornerback or a wide receiver, but it's going to be something substantial that they want in return. So are you willing to give up your first-round pick in this upcoming year? Plus, what substantial piece do you think you can, lose from this Denver Broncos team who's already 7-2? 7-2. So that's the question I'll have. Maybe I can catch up with you on the Denver Bronco Roundup. We're going to have a mega episode on Wednesday because the Broncos play on Thursday night. So check out that. We usually go live on Wednesday and Friday with the Denver Bronco Roundup, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Morning Juice, this amazing show, goes live typically right about 7 a.m. We're a little late this morning. Right here on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can check us out everywhere. We also have an amazing post-game show that we do for the Denver Broncos as well. So check us out there as well. Y'all have been amazing. Kenny, appreciate you being on the road, still chiming in, still making the connection, even though your connection was a little bit sketchy at times. We made it through an amazing episode, man. I appreciate you very much, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to the weekend, and see everyone next Monday.
I got a sip left here, Kenny. Just a sip left. It must be means it's the end of the show. It's the end of the Morning Juice. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Get on out of here. Thank you so much.